there's still a chance that Skrulls will be part of this or later things. I don't know if you've seen this since. I know we talked last week about
I thought
the Skrulls.
we had that as an article too. That what you're about to tell us.
There's a fourth Skrull that is unaccounted for.
Oh,
Did you?
I didn't think about that.
So you've had to see Captain Marvel by now, or you didn't want to see it. So in
Too
Captain
bad.
Marvel, when the Skrulls come out of the ocean, when they land on Earth, there's 4 of them. 2, like Talos, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Looks at one of the other ones and says, "I've already got this body." Like when he sees this girl come out of the water. Did we account for the one that poses Coulson dying, and we accounted for the science guy, who's kind of the comic relief, and we accounted for Talos. But there's a 4th Skrull that they never even told us what happened to beyond the ocean scene.
Wasn't he the one that died on the table?
So that was the one that poses Coulson.
Okay.
So that the one that died on the table, the comedy science guy, and Talos is only 3. There's a 4th one out there, and so now
watch again. Think about that.
The internet is like full of theories of like when Fury dies, like later on, he may have actually died, and then the Fury from that point on is that Skrull.
Is a Skrull?
And that Skrull like has been hiding on Earth, just not as a villain necessarily. So they're and they Feige, I think it was Feige, either Feige or somebody who had to do with Captain Marvel had mentioned like they also want to explore kind of what I had mentioned before about like the Skrulls. There could be bad ones and good ones and stuff. So like there's a lot of options there, but there is a Skrull that's unaccounted for. They just kind of left.
Yeah, I'd read an article, and unfortunately, I don't have it in my list here. And by the way, I'm going to drop all articles in our notes later, so if you guys want to check them out. But I'd read an article like what you were talking about last week or the week before, I can't remember, that I think it was Feige saying, hey, not all Skrulls are necessarily representative of this group or this or that.
It's interesting because it's a very modern political message, and that's all I'm going to say without getting too controversial.
I was going to say the ending of it, of Endgame, hopefully is not Antman crawling up Thanos' butt like all the memes I've seen in the last month.
That'd be funny.
You know, it's really silly. I just typed in Google what happened to the 4th Skrull, and an article came up saying, provide some answers. Where the heck did the 4th Skrull go? In short, it looks like there is a comic book storyline about a 4th Skrull going missing when they come to invade Earth to go after Fantastic Four. So it'd be funny as if they did that on purpose and Captain Marvel as like a nod to the old comics.
That would be nice. I would hope that they would do that.
I'll have to actually read this article to see.
I'm more inclined to think that it was like, people won't notice. But that would be sweet if they actually like, it's so deep.
It's like, oh man,
You'll never find it.
Also, if there's a punk band out there looking for a name, the 4th Skrull is pretty badass. So
right?
it's out there.
I kind of like courtesy wipe. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Courtesy wipe.
I was telling my wife the other
the
day.
DC.
She's like, I need to put the toilet seat up or they're down or whatever. I was like, hey man, I give it a courtesy wipe, okay?
Man, especially if it's explosive right out of the gate,
Exactly.
I gotta flush that down quicker than.
have you been following Kevin Smith? He's been like kind of vlogging from the set of is it Mallrats he's making right now? Or no, Jane and Bob. James
Yeah,
and Bob.
sequel or reboot or whatever it is.
He just added a Jason Lee with Captain Marvel comic book like cameo, and it wasn't originally part of the script, and the caption said like, since the MCU made me part of theirs, like we're gonna return the favor, and it's like Jason Lee like picking up like a Captain Marvel comic book and stuff. I love it. I love the fandom.
There's a short period in time I didn't actually even realize he was a nerd. Like even though I'd seen Mallrats, and then I think I was at Comic-Con. It was a long, long time ago when I was at Comic-Con, and he was like, he's going to be in this room, and I was like, why is he here? Like, what's going on with him? That he's so big in this thing, and I was like, no, he's he's a big nerd, and he this or that, and he has his own TV show and stuff. I was like, where have I been? And then I started watching it and I started listening to his podcast and I was like, I love this guy again. Like I fell in love again. Like I remember I'd originally seen Clerks when it came out and I was like, I love this movie. And then like the subsequent movie is like, oh, this is great.
See, it was really weird for me when that movie came out. I know we're the same age, but like I feel like I wasn't old enough to appreciate it when it came out. And actually, to be honest, I didn't know the movie when it came out, but I had older friends. So this friend was 4 or 5 years older than me, and he was like, "You got to watch Clerks." And this might have been a couple of years after it came out.
Yeah.
And he showed it to me, and I think as scholastically, I appreciated it. I was like, a guy did this on his own. It was cool.
Yeah.
But then I didn't. I don't think I actually like loved it. Liked it in an emotional level. Then fast forward to college, and I don't know if Chasing Amy had just come out or it came out a couple years before, but there was some buzz about Chasing Amy at that time for whatever reason. And I bought it on half.com because that's how you did movies at that time. So I had to buy it off half and I watched it. And I loved Chasing Amy. And then I went back and watched Clerks and I'm like, this is brilliant. And then from then on, Dogma and everything, I was like, I love all of this,
Dogma was a great movie. I just really like Salma Hayek.
The order of them. You like Salma Hayek? Yeah. He did that movie with Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah, the one he despises.
Yeah, the Cop Out.
Cop Out, yeah.
I like that movie. It was fun.
I haven't seen it. Have you read Kevin Smith's book, Tough Shit?
I have not. I totally want to read it.
There's 3 chapters about how terrible it is to work with Bruce Willis. So,
yes, I've seen a couple big giant interviews, and even on the podcast, sometimes he'll go back into it. It's just funny, whoa.
To be that vocal about it is really interesting.
That's true. You'd be vocal about someone that you worked with that much.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the woman who was the lead in Dogma, there was a similar thing. Like he said, she was very difficult to work with, and they never worked together since.
Yeah.
She
was in Men in Black.
Interesting.
She's a lady that is on the at the end that kind of joins.
Okay.
She's throughout the movie too.
And I don't recognize these other movies.
Yeah.
Looks like acting wasn't kind to her after Dogma.
No.
And so then from then on, her roles. I'm not familiar with these movies, but there's 3 movies in 2000, one in 2002, and then one in 2009, and that's it.
Dang.
So I wonder if that blacklisted her. Oh, she's from Philly.
I do like that the last movie there on 2009 says one more with feeling.
Once more.
Because that's the last movie you got on here.
I thought that this, for some odd reason, I don't know why this woman in Dogma, what's her name? Linda Fiorentino? I thought for some odd reason she looked like the curly-haired lady from ER.
Oh.
I pulled up ER I'm sure I'm going to be able to find this this lady in this giant cast. Like that lady right there.
Oh, yeah. She's the main character, right? So she should be down there. Juliana something.
Yeah, but there had been so many characters in that stupid show. Is that Stamos? Who was that?
No.
Stamos was in the show at some point in time.
I don't like shows like this, so I just
it was so many seasons though.
Yeah.
It just.
I got exposed to All My Children.
Oh my goodness!
And then what was the other one? It was not Empire, but
Days of Our Lives.
It was another one of those things.
All My Children.
Except it was they lived in this mansion, or it's not, but it was
that all
Victorian and it was called something like Victorian something dumb. I don't know. Empire. I don't know. But because of that, it ruined it for any of these shows for me. I can't watch any of these shows anymore.
Yeah.
Even Scrubs is hard for me to watch, and Friends and stuff like that.
Scrubs.
I love all those shows, but it's hard for me to just
I was gonna say, you were watching Friends on the flight back from Orlando.
You know what it is? It's you put on white noise, so you can fall asleep. That's what
Friends is white
noise. Literally white noise.
Oh yeah.
Because somehow in New York we have a group of friends that are all white.
Yeah, it's all just white people.
The interesting thing about Friends now, because Friends was originally in standard 4x3. So now that it's on, I don't know if they fixed it, but when it first came out on 16:9 on streaming services, people were seeing errors that were on the edges of the screen.
Oh wow!
Stand-ins, a stand-in for Jennifer Aniston that wasn't her, or people that were just supposed to be out of frame as eye lines were now in, and somehow quality control just never caught it when they re-released it.
Did they'd have to go back and then remaster or something because of that? Because that'd be crazy that you'd see that and you wouldn't see that on a normal TV.
Yeah,
you figured it had to be.
They
might have been
broke back into the original footage
exactly,
and then cut a version of that.
Some lazy dude's yeah, you need to redo this master for Netflix. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bye. My family got into Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You guys watch that at all?
Is it Andy Samberg?
No.
Yeah, Sammy.
Haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And then I brought it to my wife, and it was a hard sell at the beginning. And
hard sell.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like TV shows are a hard sell for my wife that aren't something that she wants to watch, like Murder, She Wrote.
Oh Lord.
But this TV show, and even slapstick stuff, she's not a person that likes slapstick humor, whether it be like the Three Stooges or anything newer. It's hilarious to like slowly look over and see her start laughing. It's hilarious because Terry Crews is in it, and there's like a bunch of other goofy characters in it. And the Scrubs thing reminded me of it, because Scrubs is like a really, really funny show that can be touching. And ER was just like a super depressing drama the entire time.
What was the one with Sandra Oh in it? Was that Grey's Anatomy?
Maybe.
Well, all those hospital shows just made me afraid to be in hospitals because the entire staff, there's too much crap going on in their lives for them to actually be doctors.
To care.
Like
Sandra Oh sounds like Sarah Lee, like that I'm about to like get a cake out of this or something.
No, Sandra Oh, she was like the second Asian American actress. So in Asian American culture, like if you're an actor especially, there's a lot of lingo out there where people are like, are you a Margaret or are you a Sandra? Because like Margaret Cho, like Margaret's kind of like she's like the down and dirty, like, you know, like I don't know, like street kind of, you know, Korean Asian American actress. And Sandra Oh is always like the super American, you know, like she was Canadian. In the hospital show.
She grew
like,
up here.
She's from Canada. That's funny. But you know, she's very like she doesn't like have a lot of stories about being like Korean or anything like that. She's just like this, like, I don't know, kind of
this
almost
white Asian
regal
girl.
Well, yeah, kind of, but she's like more like regal, you know. And Margaret's just like, let's dig in the dirt and get her done, you know. Like, so I don't know. That was that whole.
What would Lucy Liu be then?
Oh, I just forgot about her. That's an interesting thing to bring up. Why
she's a Beverly Asian?
I would see that because of Ally McBeal.
Yeah, why did she not get brought into this whole thing? Because she was there like early on. Yeah. I never thought about that. I mean, I think maybe
Lucy Liu's done some badass movies that I really like.
Maybe though,
and isn't she producing? I think she's directing some really cool stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a good answer for that. I was gonna say maybe because she always played like an Asian, like, you know, like character type or whatever. But I can't say that that's necessarily true. Like, I think she should have been in that whole mix of like Margaret, Lucy Liu. I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
I might be mistaken, but isn't she mixed as well? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's part of it too.
I heard that she was supposed to be directing or something for some superhero comic movie stuff.
Didn't she produce Elementary? Yeah.
She was also in it apparently.
Yeah, she's Sherlock, right? No, she's Watson.
Yeah. There you go.
A sexy Watson.
I'd watch that.
It's been on for a little bit.
I like Lucy.
How old is she? Oh, wow, 68. She looks good for being.
Whoa,
dang, that's almost.
And she broke the Asian curse of like turning 120 at 60.
Just shrivel up.
Oh wait, no, she was born in 1968.
Yeah,
I thought you said she was 68 years old. Like, holy moly.
No, that would even be 51?
She'd be 51.
Yeah,
still though.
Look, she looks awesome.
Yeah, I forgot she was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love Chicago.
Thank God for women. So I never watched that otherwise.
Oh,
I love the music in it. So the only set they have are those jail doors.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is kind of like your imagination and like a whole ton of dancing.
Dang.
And lots of legs.
Lots of legs.
Mm-hmm. Lots of legs and fishnet stockings. Like a friend of ours actually was in like a touring show, I think, of Chicago, Jessica Latshaw. She was in that show for a while, and then like this little old lady from her church was like, I heard you're singing in a show. I want to come and buy tickets. And she's like, please don't. Like, you just see me talk about killing men and take my clothes off.
She's like, where do I sign up?
Oh gosh, we have a famous producer that goes to our church. He actually produced the X-Men movies that we probably do not appreciate, but he's a super nice guy, and he does like a thing every year about Christians in the movie industry. And he kind of goes deep into it, and it's just kind of funny to see that kind of stuff where he's like, you know, these people were in these movies, and I'm sure like my Midwest family and friends would have been like, and like, well, you know, they work in the movie industry, and you know.
I would love to see that workshop where it's like, chapter 1, ruin a beloved franchise, make your mark.
Oh. He's so nice, though.
That's what I'm saying. He's up there. He's like a youth pastor. He's like, "Hey guys, today we're having a good time. We're gonna play basketball. First, we're gonna ruin X-Men."
Oh, well, he was a producer.
Then Fantastic Four.
He was a producer, though. He wasn't singer, and he wasn't like any of the script writers. In fact, like he tells a story how in the first X-Men movie, Magneto kind of shoots a dude with a gun and the bullet stops.
Yeah.
Like he actually suggested that.
Nice.
Like before, Magneto was just going to start ending people. He's like, I think the crowd would actually like to see more as humanity or this or that. Like, and Singer, I guess, was pissed at first, and then like coming back later, he's like, what? Actually, that's a really good idea.
What was the X-Men movie where it's like the whole first half or first act is Magneto, like when he's a kid, and then
It was the very first movie.
when he's in the woods with his family.
No, you're talking about
that was First Class.
First Class, yeah.
And then they wipe his family out, and he freaks the fuck out and just starts killing everybody. I actually dug that movie. I know
dug
a lot
that
of people
part.
hate on that shit.
I dug that part, but I wish like they would have done more of the good things and like less of the things that made it bad. Like
Yeah.
one of the things you did right was cast Ian McKellen as Magneto and Patrick Stewart as Xavier, and then you got rid of it. Like what?
Yeah.
That movie alone, it's just so problematic with me. Like there's definitely parts of it that I want to like and want it to do well, but then
I want to see this Dark Phoenix movie not suck. I want them to like go cut the crap out of it to make it a better movie.
And on a
out
high
of all
note-
the shit they have, footage wise.
I don't know.
Because they watched it and said it was horrible, like the one they watched.
Yeah.
So I would guess that they're not going to put out something they said it was horrible.
I can't think of a single time though where we heard about a bunch of recuts and it turned out well.
yeah, and reshoots and cutting and
Yeah. Hopefully they have something for us though. Something that's not going to be like, oh my god, this is so bad.
I mean, I think it's going to be garbage. We're still at some point going to see it.
Yeah.
At best, the only thing I'm hoping for at best is it's kind of like a Venom movie where it's not, or Aquaman, where I'm like, it's not good, but I have it on while I'm doing other stuff. From the point he like acquires Venom on, I start there and I just kind of like watch at leisure, like in the background and stuff, and I enjoy it. I actually bought it for that, but like. I can't see it being like they actually did good this time. It just
I would love to see an amazing X-Men movie and an amazing Fantastic Four movie come out of Marvel.
Yeah.
Fan Force Stick. Fan Force Stick.
like the Screen Rant. There was a pitch meeting for that X-Men Apocalypse movie. It was like dead on, and it's just, oh my gosh. I don't know what Fox is thinking. I feel like it's Warner Brothers all over again, to where they're like, we got this great thing. Let's just make a really shitty story about it. I get fed up.
I almost
get real
feel
fed
like
up.
they need some new blood in there writing.
and also like they have like they took their strongest things and threw them away. Like again, they proved that they could cast like no one else. Like they got Olivia Munn as Psylocke. I have never thought of like a more perfect casting for that role. And then they just threw it away. Like she was like a goon again. And then a bad person, and she just like went away.
Well, they also had Oscar.
Oscar Isaac.
Isaac, there you go. Oscar. Wow.
Yeah, as
What am I thinking?
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But they made Apocalypse like short.
I don't even think that was. I mean, like
And
I was
then the
always
only
making
time
fun
he
of it, but like,
And then the only time he grew was inside of the minds of when, Professor X went inside of Apocalypse's mind, or did Apocalypse go into... I forget. It was a mind battle.
It was
for months. I'm like, oh man, they totally screwed this whole thing up. Like,
yeah.
Apocalypse is supposed to be this like epic character. Man, how can you mess it up? It's so easy to just like cop the old stuff. Like,
and they got a good actor for it, but
Yeah.
it was an odd casting to me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I didn't think like Apocalypse. Oh, Oscar Isaac. Like I don't know. I don't know who I would have thought though.
I would have picked Brolin.
See, I think that would be the closest thing they could have done was get someone who's the spirit of it, who doesn't maybe not look like it, and then pull a Thanos.
I think they could have gotten someone that was more stoic looking.
Yeah.
To where they could make him like more disconnected from not only humanity but from the mutants themselves, just being like, I am now just this amazing, almost god, kind of deal,
Right.
and that would have been more believable.
Or that dude that played the Mummy with Brendan Fraser. He was like the god or something like that. He was a bald-headed dude.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name though, but he would have been good as Apocalypse.
It would have been really interesting too if they had casted like either an African American or like dark skinned actor for Apocalypse.
Because he's Egyptian.
Yeah, because like I guess in people's heads, including mine, growing up, in my head I'm defaulting like, oh, if Apocalypse wasn't blue or purple, he'd probably be white, right? I'm like, well, he's Egyptian, so that's not as likely, you know. He'd at least be tanned, right? Like, is like,
Yeah.
but probably dark skinned.
Those are all the pictures of white, blue eyes, blonde hair Jesuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you go the other way around though. Like I remember going into like this black church and they had like black versions of Moses and black, and I was like, okay, like I understand.
That
like
checks out.
they want a connection. Like they're from Israel. Like
That's right, Israel.
So,
Gotcha.
Like,
But the actual like the Egyptians like are like Middle Eastern, like
yeah, it'd be more. I feel like Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Depending on it depends on how far south I'd imagine you go. But yeah, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a history buff. I have no
that
idea.
kind of touches on something like I don't want to talk too much about on here because we're not like a political podcast, but I'm actually just genuinely interested in anybody that wants to comment about this in the comments. We were talking to our friends at Boss Level 8 last night for a couple hours about this. I saw it one way, and Jeff from Boss Level 8 saw it a different way. We didn't agree on it, but it wasn't like an angry thing. Recently, there's been this like kind of calling out of white savior movies in Hollywood. So I haven't seen Green Book, so I can't comment personally on it. A movie I did see that I found some stuff out about was Hidden Figures. Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
Taraji P. Henderson, Janelle Monáe. So you saw it?
Yeah,
No?
I saw it.
Okay, so I guess
we have
spoilers if you haven't seen it. I thought it was a great movie. It made you feel good and everything. What I didn't know is there's a pivotal scene that's almost the climax where the rocket is launching and Kevin Costner? Yeah. Like demands that Taraji P. Henderson gets to be in the control room to watch that rocket take off. And apparently, she watched it from her desk on TV because she was not allowed in that control room.
Yep.
And I was like, that's a big difference. And
I would say.
So Jeff's argument was like, well, it wouldn't have made as good of a movie. And it's like,
As big of an impact, I imagine, in the story.
my thinking is it to me, it's problematic because it's kind of perpetuating, like changing a story to fit people's expectations now. So it's not telling like a real struggle of the person it was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And then my other defense is I'm not in screenwriting or film or anything, so I don't know how this works. But I feel like a good writer would have been able to tell a good story without changing that large of a detail. Like it's one thing to like skip time, like maybe it happened in maybe it really happened in 10 years, but in the movie it was like a couple of years just for whatever. But like it was almost the point of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like that. It just doesn't sit well with me anymore, and I can never look at that movie the same way again.
Yeah, when I heard it, I felt the same way. I don't think that they're doing that on purpose. I think that how we talked last time about Bohemian Rhapsody and the new
Elton John.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, so that one I'm on board for so far.
Yeah,
because they've been billing it as based on a true fantasy.
Exactly, but when you go to a movie, we kind of talk about like you want to see like a story progress in a certain way we're kind of used to, and so they're going to try to write it in a certain way. That white dude that was in the Hidden Figures movie apparently doesn't exist.
Yeah,
that character doesn't exist at all in real life, and so they wrote him in to kind of progress the story along.
Yeah.
So like while I understand their viewpoint, I don't feel like people are doing it on purpose.
I also liked your point of like if they didn't do the white guy brings her into the mission control or whatever, he's not there at all, and it's from her point of view. And then when she sees it with her girls in that lunchroom, whatever on the television, they have a sense of accomplishment there.
Yeah, because once again in my head. And not as a screenwriter, I'm just thinking like I'm seeing a scene with Janelle Monáe, Octavia Spencer, and Taraji P. Henderson like sitting together, watching the launch on whatever, like from a distance on a TV or something, and being proud of each other. Yeah, and Kevin Costner doesn't even if I don't even have a problem with him being put in the story as a made up thing to progress the story.
Yeah, he's just a device.
It's just weird that he became like a main character to me, and so like. I would have loved it to like had started focusing on those three, and then it kind of like became a back and forth between Kevin Costner and those three.
Yeah.
And so it's just weird that they took the pivotal moment and like made it a championing moment for a person who didn't exist. Like once again, it's like I really would have loved to seen like a skilled writing. We're in a town which supposedly has like the best screenwriters in the world, right? To like give me an emotion without like changing like the point of everything.
Yeah.
But like.
They did get that guy to make sure the science and math was all correct for that movie.
Yeah.
But that's where they spent their budget, I think.
But like So my thing is like, if you do want to see movies though that like are, that's the way of being a better movie and stuff. I think that's completely possible too. Just call it something else. So I brought up the example of like, do you remember The Rose with Bette Midler? That was pretty much Janis Joplin's story, but not really. They made it better for a movie, but they didn't call it like the Janis Joplin life story, or something. And so there was like major things changed that were just a good story with Bette Midler, and then like Dreamgirls, pretty much about the Supremes, or like girl groups. But obviously some things are changed and stuff. And so, but it was a good movie on its own. And like I think if you want to make like a fictional movie, then just do it. And then in the back of your head, like this is loosely based on something that happened, but this is a movie about
There's
something
so many
else.
movies though. I straight up would believe that most biopics are practically fiction.
I'm starting to understand that now. But like the reason I brought up the Hidden Figures thing and even Green Book is there's so much like a political thing behind it. And like, especially now and like being a person of color, like it's like, okay, we're fighting for this thing. And I know it's baby steps, so I appreciate it. I mean, this movie wasn't necessarily like for my upbringing, but like good through the first steps, but really weird, unnecessary, additions in the middle of progress. So like, they pointed out like, well, there are other movies that just like did better. They point like Crazy Rich Asians and like, Black Panther and stuff. Like in Black Panther, they were white characters, but it wasn't like Thor just came in and saved Wakanda by himself. And then like, you're welcome, T'Challa.
Yeah. Well, like with big budget movies like this, they got so many people. I mean, producers and writers and directors and execs and all these people like trying to put you, and then you got a real life story. I imagine if they would have had that part with her sitting in her booth and watching it from there, that would make that movie a very different movie.
Yeah, and I get that, and that's what I was saying. Like, I mean, once again, who am I? I'm just one person, but I would either rather just been like another story.
Yeah.
Like, this is Rocket Ship, the movie, or something.
I'm just saying, like, they want it to feel like this way, so they're like, well, how about you write it like this? And how about, and then morph slowly into something else. With this article, and the way that some people would feel is like, you're kind of blaming white people. Like, it's white people's faults because they're doing this on purpose because they want to feel important. Like, okay.
It depends. Like, I could see, because we all know, like, there's, like, old white guys at the top of, like, a lot of Hollywood food chains. So that might be possible in like that sense, but as a whole, I don't think there's like a team. I don't think like the Ku Klux Klan is like, let's rewrite this story. I just think like it's like one of those options of like.
Speaking of that, there's those two or not those two, Ku Klux Klan and Cookie. I can't remember her name.
Tragically Henderson.
Yeah, is in a movie coming out soon. Now we saw that in the theater too.
Wouldn't it be funny if like Scarlett Johansson comes in, it's like, come with me.
Yeah.
And it just saves her for no reason. To me, it was just, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, it was like story changes like that are just like weirdly unexpected to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know. It was like, wow, that kind of sucks that they changed like such a huge thing. Like I said, like it's.
Yes,
I made
agree with that.
example of like if somebody wrote a movie on me and my whole deal was that I came up with a cure for herpes. But then in the movie, they made it a cure for cancer. Like, that is a drastic difference in cures.
Even then, though, at least the sentiment and the principle is the same. And so, to me, it could be kind of like you found the cure for one of these diseases, but then they just, like, said Josh did it. Like...
and then they created a white man.
Yeah.
to be the device between us.
It's just like a lot of stuff. So it's the
But I am that white man.
but it's like a similar complaint I have with like X-Men and all these other like bad superhero movies. It's like, why did we create another character for this? Like it just there's so many that we just barely shoehorned into.
That's kind of what I was mad about The Gifted, the TV show The Gifted, because they kind of just like created mutants.
He's like, we don't have enough.
Yeah.
Most of those TV shows like that, like Flash is like that, or
like bad guys.
Smallville was like that, where like
just creating.
Yeah, there's kryptonite everywhere, and it's the kryptonite that's making these people like this.
You're
yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah. Need more people? We found some more kryptonite, and they made more bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, they're all bad guys practically. Why is Superman the good guy, or why is Flash the good guy,
Right.
and everybody else is bad guys?
This is a weird church.
I know we were talking about Keanu earlier. Did you see the Bill and Ted's thing?
I didn't get to watch the video, but I saw that they are officially announcing it, so I'm pretty stoked.
I went to go watch this thing or whatever we're looking at here.
Yeah.
And I fell into a rabbit hole of Keanu interviews. And then by the time I realized that I was watching, it was like 7 hours later. So I never got to actually see what the hell that's about.
I actually love like watching his interviews though. Like he's
Oh, it was
like,
freaking hilarious.
And like, have you ever seen him when he prepared for John Wick and whatnot? He is like,
Oh, the gun stuff.
yeah, he's like a badass. Like
He really gets into his roles, man. I mean, he even in the old Matrix stuff. I mean, that was him doing a lot of the stuff, you know.
And
I
then
know everybody used to make fun of him a long time ago, but like,
I mean, he has
he's a good
stunt
actor.
guys. He's not going to do everything, but
and the original Death is going to be back.
Yeah, the guy that played Death.
I didn't know William Sadler or anything specifically, but like I'm glad that like if the character's coming back, the actor's coming back too with them.
I did see them like together in front of an amphitheater or
Yes.
whatever that
That's
was.
when they announced it. Him and was it Bill Winters? Is that his name?
Oh yeah.
and then
the
they're
other
both
guy.
like going, excellent, whatever.
It's supposed to be about their kids, apparently.
That would make sense because, you know, it'd be kind of weird to see them trying to be them
Yeah.
10 years, 20 years ago.
I don't think I think they could still do it because we've watched like Keanu Reeves continue to be Neo for the last 15 years.
That's true.
Like Rufus is now Santa Claus.
Sad. It's so sad
Yeah,
that you
just
even
George
said
Carlin.
his name. George Carlin, I love that dude, and he was, he made those movies too.
For sure. Station.
Remember the Bill and Ted cartoon series?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't it split up between two different studios too?
It's so long ago, I don't know.
I think
I've only known that show as a kid.
someone correct me. I think one of the seasons went to one studio / TV station, and another season went to like another TV
Wasn't
station.
it the WB?
And like,
thing?
and I think they don't necessarily like fit together, so it was like really confusing. But I loved that show when I was a kid.
Because it looks like Animaniacs.
It is Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, and then the second one was Fox.
Yeah, it was a really bizarre.
That's weird that they got 3 seasons.
Holy
though,
crap,
to
I
me.
forgot they had more than... Because was the second movie Bogus Journey?
Yes. They had 2 movies.
Great Adventure? Or no, that's Six Flags.
I wonder if they're going to have to do some kind of like mom jokes between their dads again with their...
Oh, yeah,
and,
that's funny.
I actually, speaking of these cartoon series, I miss this era in the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, where they were like trying to make kids part of every property.
Yeah.
So Bill and Ted, not necessarily for kids, but they
Police
made a
Academy?
cartoon show. Police Academy. Roseanne Barr had a cartoon.
Beetlejuice?
Little Rosie. I have that bookmarked on my YouTube thing to like watch episodes of. I love that show.
That was a great show, cartoon.
Yeah. Do you remember Little Rosie, the Roseanne Barr?
Think like vague.
It was basically Muppet Babies with like little chubby white kids.
I do remember that.
I don't remember any specific episodes. I remember kind of digging it. But man, things that don't age well, like
Remember Charlie Sheen?
speaking of things that don't age well. But kind of going full circle back to like one of the earlier topics we were talking about a Mortal Kombat connected universe. There's a character that happened like after I kind of fell out of Mortal Kombat, and I've been discovering the last couple of years since I've been back. Is named Kenshi, and
Is he the blind one?
yeah, that is definitely Keanu Reeves. No one else can play him. Have you seen? You look at this character, and you're like, no one else can play him but Keanu Reeves.
Oh, you're right.
Like, look at this character. Like that has to be.
Yeah. I feel like the guy that does Daredevil could do it.
It's like
Yeah.
if John
Maybe just
Wick
'cause
was
he's
in Baby Bird,
But,
whatever
like,
that movie was with the...
It looks like they modeled it after Keanu Reeves. Like,
Yes, I would agree with that.
What was that movie that people meme the crap out of with the headband?
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
Oh gosh.
What if this was like the male version
Like,
of Bird Box?
even like this, and like you put that against like a picture of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix when he goes blind.
Okay.
And it like
Oh, yeah.
it's almost exactly the same. Like
yeah, Kenshi from Mortal Kombat definitely
somebody
looks like...
There they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
People. I was gonna say. I'm
that-
sure somebody put pictures together,
that-
and they did.
that second row on the second. Yeah, like that one. Like it's,
Oh, the
that's-
picture from when he in the third Matrix movie when he has the blindfold on.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They already have the wardrobe. They just got to pull that out of storage.
So
Drenched
weird.
and everything.
So anyway, Keanu, you still have another decade. If Mortal Kombat makes a successful extended universe, then you could like leave John Wick or like close John Wick out. You have like the Matrix, John Wick, and now Mortal Kombat as Kenshi.
I can already hear his like response. It's like, hey,
Oh, dude.
what do you think about this movie? He's like, I'm tired.
Someone photoshopped Chris Pratt as Johnny Cage. I'm sold now.
Oh, yes.
That's amazing.
Dang.
That's pretty funny.
I would have loved Johnny Cage to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, though.
Wouldn't
like,
it? Yeah.
Instead of Guile.
At least back when.
That is kind of ironic, though, that they, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme was a Universal Soldier, was supposed to be the game that Mortal Kombat was, and then Mortal Kombat went on and parodied Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then Jean-Claude played Guile as a competitor. They're like, it's such a weird universe.
That'd be a cool interview, like with the people that are intertwined with like that.
Terry Crews would be Jax. That would make it.
That's the one. That's
that's
the street.
I approve.
Yeah. I'm going down these pictures. People just suggesting.
Oh,
Kenshi, that looks awesome.
Oh, yeah, wow, yeah. Is that from that Ronin movie that he did?
Maybe.
No. It looks like someone just painted it.
It looks like John Wick, the bottom of his face,
It looks like that Ronin movie.
or like Seven Samurai. Or
Oh wow, is this a whole list?
Hey, maybe it is. Oh, maybe
That is awesome. That sold me. That Terry Crews is Jax. We need to start a petition.
Terry Crews is Jax. Hashtag it. Who's this?
That's a great katana, whoever that is.
Gal Gadot.
Oh my God. Yes.
Katana.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, I just got a half. Like, holy shit. Like, that's amazing. Yeah, let's do it. I'm sold now.
All right, wait. Okay, who are we?
Shao
Pitt.
Kahn.
The
Rock.
Rock is Shao Kahn,
You know what? I'm not mad at it.
even though,
As long as he never takes off his mask.
yeah, which is impossible because you know how those is that Ronda
Ronda,
Rousey?
yeah.
I see. Well, so this
That would
makes
make
sense.
more sense. Yeah.
Well, because Ronda Rousey is actually the voice of Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 11. That was the big announcement.
Yeah, I could see her do that.
And it's funny because she even said, like, as a kid, she played Mortal Kombat and she had, like, worked her whole life to become Sonya. So now she literally is.
Oh my goodness.
So I could buy that.
I don't know if she has the legs for it. Not like
Yeah.
strength wise. I'm just saying, like Sonya is usually a tall girl. And
I'm gonna put these pictures in the show notes too for you guys to check out. These pictures are
Yeah.
freaking epic. I would watch the heck out of this.
I'm sold on this movie. Whoever did this. Wait, who did say? I'm reading the comments. Mad Mikkelsen should be in this. Oh, he doesn't say, like, expand this Mads Mikkelsen one. Let's see if somebody replied, like, as who?
who?
Oh, who would Mads Mikkelsen play in the Mortal Kombat movie? I don't know. Maybe like
Raiden.
You know,
even though like,
I'd be down for it, even though Raiden should be a Japanese
exactly,
person,
but
or
like,
Japanese
I feel
or
like
Chinese person. But yeah,
he'd be the Christopher Lambert.
yeah. Mortal Kombat's a good property to be inclusive, like not just minorities, like everyone. So like it could work.
I actually just want Dave Coulier to play Stryker, and then every time like he pulls a grenade out, he also goes "cut it out," and then throws the grenade.
That's a good casting though, because when I was a kid playing Stryker in Mortal Kombat 3, I always thought that was Dave Coulier. Like.
I was just joking
Because he looks
That's
like
hilarious, though.
he's got like a dad bod, and he's the backwards hat, and he's like, blonde hair and stuff. He's also a cop in a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
he was so panned at the time, but like I still dig it over like some of these other new characters. Almost all these characters though are from like godlike dimensions, so really at the end of doesn't matter.
I want Drax to be Baraka, the guy that played Drax.
Dave Bautista.
To play Baraka.
He's a little big for it, but sure.
Yeah, Baraka wasn't that muscly.
So I guess in that case, it'd be fair for Raiden to be whoever is the best part. I couldn't be too upset about it. The only reason that like I see like a Chinese or Japanese person in my head is because of Big Trouble in Little China. Like it just looks like Raiden. Like, but it definitely Katana could. She's open to interpretation, whatever that serves a story.
And that's
I want to see the like Mortal Kombat being like All My Children.
I do not.
Remember how they did
soap
like
opera
friendship
for, like-
and like babality and
Yeah.
all the different endings.
That was to make fun of like the government for starting up the rating system.
It'd be yeah. It'd be funny if they like did like Scorpion and Sub-Zero like neighbors.
Well, there's that YouTube series I watched called I think it's Dorkly does it. It's called Get Over Here, and it's a sitcom between Sub-Zero and Scorpion as roommates.
Yeah, like I want to see
They're odd couple.
I want to see some stupid thing like that. That'd be hilarious.
So like
Or Robot Chicken. Pick that up.
See, that's what's really stupid. I'll end my comments on this. What's really stupid is Dorkly has done these like little stupid animated things with the Mortal Kombat sprites, as like sitcoms, like little like comedic things. that are better than like the DC universe and like the Mortal Kombat universes they've tried to create before. Like there was a Christmas special they did with the Mortal Kombat characters that actually got me a little emotional. And it was it was like the character sprites in their spandex.
Yeah.
Like cutting each other's heads off and then like doing the Grinch thing where they like go around the Christmas tree and sing and then like light up the tree and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm really touched right now. Like, and like Sub-Zero like sprays the tree with snow. Like,
It's funny what we get touched by. You see Kevin Smith crying all the time, kind of stuff. But like even I was like, there's that how it should have ended, which is like just a funny little cartoon thing, and it was the Endgame trailer.
Okay.
It was the Endgame trailer, and it was like everyone's knocking at the door, like let me in, like kind of all the X-Men are there, like yeah, come on in, and like oh this is fun, and then it gets to like Donnie, and then you realize he lost all 3 of his brothers and his dad.
Oh,
And he's like there, and he's like, I lost my family. Will you let me in? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally
Tearing up.
Start tearing up.
who's Donnie?
Donatello.
Oh God, I
yeah,
got Turtles.
You can't bring. I get too emotional with the Turtles. Those movies, those live action stupid movies. I love them so much.
I feel like
Not the Michael Bay ones.
I feel like it's a real Ninja Turtles are a real like connection with brothers, like for real. Because I have 2 brothers, and we are all like, I'll tell you, we're all different. Marcus is Raphael, like straight up. Like I'm obviously Leo because I'm the oldest, and then Michael, my middle between is just the goofball. So
He's Michael.
yeah, exactly. He's Mikey. I call him Mikey.
Yeah, I never thought about that. I gotta ask my brother who each of us might be, because my brother and I like we really didn't really get along until after both of us had finished college. I think we both were like, oh yeah, we were both kind of jerks. All right, we absorbed the wrong things from our parents.
I don't know who I'd be either.
I mean, I lost my temper a lot, so maybe Raph.
Maybe
And I wear red all the time now.
that's true.
I might end up being Raph too, I guess, because my brother is either Donatello or Leonardo, and my cousin Greg, we're only like 15 days apart, so pretty much our entire lives we were together. He's probably Leonardo or Donatello as well. But his favorite was Michelangelo, and my favorite was Raphael. So he'd be mad if I didn't say something about Mikey.
That like the 90s, man, like there was something about the palette swaps that just really did it. You know, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, the Mortal Kombat ninjas and
Surf
stuff.
ninjas.
Like just being able to like identify like a personality to like a paleted color.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's kind of interesting.
No, red's angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you even got blue lanterns. You know, aren't they the lanterns of hope?
Yeah.
They don't do too much in the universe.
Dude, lanterns are hilarious like that though, because there's like giant weird looking aliens that are lanterns and stuff. So like, and there's like a giant dog.
I would love to see DC do a crazy lantern thing.
Ooh, can we petition DC to replace the DCEU with corgi versions of all the superheroes?
Just Welsh corgis though, like the only Welsh corgis.
I think we could be inclusive. There's side characters and villains, right?
Like I don't want no half breeds. They all have to be Welsh corgis. Damn it!
Inbred?
Oh, extremely inbred.
No, but I would watch like Batman v Superman if they were both corgis. Somebody do that.
I've seen worse. So
No, that sound actually literally sounds better than the movie I saw. Like if you took 2 corgis and dressed them as Superman and Batman, and then let them play and or fight for about an hour or 2, not fight, but like, you know, josh around,
play fight.
for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, I think that would be genuinely better experience than Batman vs Superman.
Gosh,
Have you seen that Shazam is getting really, really good reviews?
yeah.
Yeah, because the early screenings have already started.
Yeah.
Our buddy Max let us in and said it was a great movie.
Yeah.
We told him to shut up because we didn't want to hear anything.
We were also at, if you go to Burbank 16, they have the Shazam costume there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the Billy Batson
Costume?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kids
Daily
costume.
outfit.
I posted
Yeah.
it on my Insta.
I think I did see it on your Insta.
Yeah.
I love your Insta. I watch. I like.
I like my Insta too.
Follow
It's everything
Vincent's.
I'm looking at the time. Sometimes it's myself.
Well, I like looking at you too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and there's so many articles going back and forth, obviously, about that one. I could really see that one turn around the DCEU, and maybe not like continue the storyline, but at least give us hope for the future.
I want to see a good style. Yeah,
I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Like I'm going to go in expecting to just have fun, like I did with like Venom or something.
Yeah.
And then if it ends up like fixing everything, awesome. If it doesn't, then I had a good time at least. You know,
they already got me with the outfit. Like this podcast is called Yellow Spandex.
they went for the yellow span or the red spandex, but
This is exactly the
symbolic.
Shazam we want to see on screen is what we remember in the comics, you know? So,
And
hell yeah.
It's definitely going to be a way lighter tone. Obviously, more fun, not dark, not and I feel like that was their problem, or one of the major problems is they went like Zack Snyder, 300, all those dark. It's like actual physically looking dark movies. Man of Steel, dark.
Yeah.
Like I saw somebody like color corrected on the internet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
super bright.
Man
It's
of
like
Steel.
wow, I actually feel better.
Yeah,
like,
it
watching
did.
this movie.
And then like Patty Jenkins took notes for Wonder Woman.
Exactly.
Because you see like that island for the first time, you're like, there's color here.
Yeah, vibrance.
Look
What
at that.
in a superhero movie? Hope.
And that's another thing too. I know they darkened up her armor a little bit, but Wonder Woman was in red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Like and it was fine. We didn't need to like put like black leather on her and like pretend she wasn't Xena.
Yeah, I didn't want her to go full like Star Spangled underwear or anything, but I would have kind of wished it was a little bit more long.
Right.
We were talking to a friend Mark Gray, who's Professor Puppet, and he was saying like I don't know, I forget if he said this or he was just implying it, but he kind of like liked the the black leather and all that stuff. And I was like, but see, the thing is, for comic book fans, like most of us, I think we want to see what we saw in the comic books, like as a much visually colorful as characteristically colorful cast and everything. And he was saying like he went to go see an exhibit here in LA where they had like the Infinity War costumes. He was like, oh, they were all black. I'm like, either you don't see well or they changed it, because that's not how it was. Like that, he was pointing at Captain America. He's like, oh, it was all like he had a star ripped off and everything. Like I mean, it was dirty.
Yeah.
Because he'd been like a vagabond for like 4 years or something.
Now, it was black under the star because of Velcro, but there you could see the white stripes and the
Yeah, it was
blue
still
and the
there,
red.
yeah.
And it was dirty or whatever, but still.
But Iron Man was still like, metallic red and yellow and everything. Like, and Vision is a big green and purple.
Yep.
Like,
The only
android.
time he was black is when he died. Or he was gray.
White, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like a little callback. Like the cream colored Vision is the one I remember mostly.
Yeah, I just remember that Sega game, the Avengers game, and
Yeah,
he's
he was
he's
white.
all white in that. Yeah.
Oh, that's the arcade game.
Yep.
That's the Avengers arcade game.
So the next episode is you pull up whatever comments there are and like kind of go through
Yeah.
any like talking points and stuff. That might be a good thing.
Give shout outs to whoever dropped comments at least. Yeah.
I can tell you that I haven't been doing a good job of looking at comments, so we'll fix that for the next one.
Yeah, I think there's Brandon dropped a couple.
Dust
Dawns.
Dawns.
Oh yeah, I think she dropped a couple.
I haven't like seen like some of the talking points, especially with this one because we presented like quite a few like talking points and opinions. So it's just interested in seeing what people are thinking.
Yeah. Well, guys, we love you.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. Do all those good things.
And come back and listen to some more Yellow Spandex.
Let us know what you thought of Shazam, because it'll shortly be coming out once you hear this.
That's right.
Don't forget to follow RKVC.
That's right.
And Bands Life.
Peace out, guys.